Hello, this is Raju here live on the Woman Agenda channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Is Saturday, the 12th of February, in case you guys weren't aware of that, like I'm not most of the time. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic time. I hope you're having a great day. Where is my scroller? There it is. Found it at last. And so yes, forgot to put the countdown, but you know what it is. You know how the game plays. It is time, and today is time for the big debate special. Before we go on to that, very warm welcome to you all of you guys. Thank you very much for supporting the Woman Agenda channel. Basically, if you're new to the channel, it's about promoting female talent, whether it's music, books, any area, groundbreaking women. We have so many live female artists coming on, giving us a lowdown. I don't call it stories. I call it stories, but I don't call it interviews. I call them that they're telling the stories. They're telling it how it is. What kind of struggles they had to go through, what kind of stuff they've had to go through to get to the level where they is coming up in March. We got Elizabeth Conti in March. Live interview with her. She's a very talented book writer. We have three music artists live interviews with them, only on the Women Agenda channel. In One in March, two in April. I need to check the schedule, but that's something like that. So we've got three very talented female artists, music artists live here on the Woman Agenda channel. So much stuff happening. I'm still working on loads of stuff happening on the Women Agenda channel. As you can see, we've started the short videos as well with information on the Women FSL. You will see some videos uploading today as well on the Women FSL coming up, and as well as other short videos coming up of the interviews and information about them. That's coming up as well on the channel. So keep tuned here. And so today, yes, we're talking about the big debate special, which we talk about women suicides, girl suicides in the UK, Pakistan, and India. These three are the areas which we focus on, countries which we focus on. So that's what we're talking about today, because it's a massive issue and it's affecting so many women, so many girls in the UK, in India, in Pakistan, and that's what we're talking about today. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about that. And if you want to get in touch, if you want to be featured on the Woman Agenda channel, and you know what to do, get in touch. Tana Spotlight 309 at gmail.com. Very easy to remember. Tana Spotlight 309 at gmail.com. And if you want to advertise and collaborate with us, get in touch. Tana Spotlight 309 at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Let's get on with it. So what the first thing we want to talk about is obviously the UK. So suicide among teenage girls and young women in the UK, which has been happening. Courtesy of Independent Korea UK, it has been reported suicide among teenage girls and young women have almost doubled in 7 years. New figures have shown, and now these figures are not very old figures. So the number of women and girls between the age of 10 and 24 recorded as having taken their own lives have increased by 94% since 2012, from 81 to 159 last year, a record high for England and Wales, according to the Office for National Statistics. Now, National Statistics has accurate information regarding data. So coming from them, it would be accurate. Overall, 1,299 deaths were registered as a suicide among females in England in 2019, up from 1,221 deaths registered in the previous year, marking highest rate since 2004. While suicide among men remains considerably higher, experts have raised concerns about the unprecedented rise in young women taking their lives, highlighting the role of social media. The figures show regional disparities, with the highest female suicide rate recorded in Yorkshire and the homicide at 7.3 per 100,000, compared with 4.1 in 100,000 in the northeast, the area with the lowest rate, and 5.2 per 100,000 in the whole of England. Now, Tom Madders, who is the director of campaigns at Young Minds, said the increase was worrying. He said traumatic experience at a young age, such as bereavement, bullying, or abuse, as well as school pressure, risks concerns about how you look, and difficult relationship with family or friends could have a significant impact on girls and young women mental health. While there's a higher awareness about mental health than in the past, many young people who are suicidal still find it hard to reach out for help until they hit crisis point. Andrew Fellows, Associate Head of Policy and Public Affairs at the NSPCC, said, "For many young person to die by suicide is tragic, and it is alarming, deeply upsetting to see rates increasing. Challenge is always here for young persons struggling with their mental health and having suicidal thoughts and feelings. It is also absolutely vital that the government continues to prioritize funding for children mental health NHS so no young person goes without support before reaching the crisis point." Now, overall suicide rates in England increased by 6% in the year to 2019, from 5,021 in 2018 to 5,316 in England and Wales. And around three-quarters of registered deaths in 2019 were among men, 4,003, which follows a considerable trend back in the mid-1980s. Now, talking about the suicidal situation in India, now nearly 40%, as you see in the thumbnail, 40% of females. That's alarming. When I saw this, I thought to myself, oh my goodness me, 40%. This is absolutely shocking, 40%. And this is courtesy of the Guardian.com. Nearly 2 in every five women in the world who kill themselves in India, according to a Lancet study published this week, that said that the country's suicide rates constitute a public health crisis. The rate of Indian women who die by suicide has fallen since 1990, but not as fast as elsewhere in the world. Now, represents 36.6% of global female suicide deaths, the report in the UK Medical Journal found. Indian women who died by suicide were more likely to be married, to be from developed states, and by large margin aged below 35. Said Poonam Mutrija, the executive director of the Population Foundation of India, a public health group. She and other specialists blame the trend on early marriage. One-fifth of Indian women still marry before the age of 15, along with male violence against women and other symptoms of a deeply entrenched patriarchal culture. The suicide rate among Indian women were 3 times higher than what might be predicted for a country with similar geography and socio-economic indicators, the researchers said. Our social norms are very aggressive, Matrija said. In the village, a girl is called her father's daughter, then she's a husband's wife, and when she has a son, she's a son's mother. Matrija said research carried out by her organization has shown that 62% of surveyed women believe it was legitimate for their husbands to beat them. The researchers speculated the link between the suicide and marriage were due to the burden of youth motherhood, the low social status afforded to wives in some households, the lack of financial independence, and exposure to domestic violence. And finally, talking about in Gizar, Pakistan. Reported by AA.com.tr that Sarah, 25, took her life this June. This is not very, very old, but it's not recent. But she did take her own life a year after she married her cousin in the Swat district of northwestern Pakistan. Now, just a quick recap. If you're thinking about, obviously, you guys know that obviously in Muslim there's a lot of marriages where uh, you do get you do marry inside cousins, cousin sisters, and that's so on. So that does happen. So if you've not heard of that, that does happen. She took her own life. Her troubled marriage took a toll on her mental health, her mother told an Anadolu agency. Alarming increases have been reported this year among women and young students committing suicide in the region. In the first 8 months of 2018, 346 people, mostly women, committed suicide in Malakand division, a tourist spot located in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Local broadcaster News reported. Apology if I said this wrong. The highest number of cases in 2022 was reported in Swat, which was called natural beauty. I was not in favor of her marriage with her cousin because she was not happy. The boys were illiterate while my daughter was a university graduate. I tried to convince her father, but he termed his daughter's resistance a violation of the local culture and tradition. Police say domestic violence and unemployment are the main reasons for the rise in suicides. There are many reasons, but domestic issues, misbehavior, and violence by husbands or the family members are the main causes behind suicide cases reported with police. Shah Faisal, a local police officer in Makalan division, told an adult agency. Only 2 to 3% of the cases were reported to the police, while the remaining 97 to 98% were hidden by local people to avoid. Faisal added, estimating the actual number could be in thousands. For ethnic Pashtun who hail from northern Pakistan and parts of bordering Afghanistan, arranged marriages are customs several generations have lived with and until recently was never questioned. In the largely tribal ethnic group which follows its own set of customs and values called the Pashtunwali, families can make or break individual. So there you go. That's the basically some of what's been happening in the UK and in India and Pakistan. You must have noticed while I was discussing this that the similarities between the UK, India, and Pakistan regarding the suicide rates, regarding the girls and the women is very very similar. The suicide rates are much higher, but it is alarming that in the UK the situation is not that better than what I thought it was until I saw the stats today reporting by the National Statistics. Hopefully, I'll get that right one day. And the situation is very grim. On the, I could say slightly better than the Indian Pakistan, but it still is grim. And obviously, it's a lot we needs to be done more about that. And that's something which we will keep on highlighting on the big debate special on there. If you want to get in touch on our social media channels, you can do like other people. It's very easy to do, and this is the way to do it. On Twitter is Raju at Female Spotlight. That's the Twitter handler. And Facebook is Woman Talent Podcast. Like I said, if you wanna be featured on the podcast, you want to be a good presenter, you think you have what it takes, get in touch, transpolar309@gmail.com. Same email address if you want to appear on the podcast. Book writer, actress, anything. Music artist. Like I said, we've got lots of music artists coming on board. and we will be revealing exactly when they're coming on board as well this coming week. So stay tuned for that. So lots of stuff happening. We still need to book a few artists for this month as well. We will be doing that as well this week, coming week as well. So stay tuned for news of this month, who's going to be featured on the podcast. We're talking about March, April, but obviously in February, there's still a couple of weeks left. So we will be having some people on board in February as well. If you want to collaborate, advertise with us, get in touch, transportlight309@gmail.com. And obviously, thank you very much for watching The Big Debate only on the Woman Agenda channel. And I will be back with some information on the latest female music news, short video on that. That's coming up later on today, among other things. Will be coming up as well. But I will leave you with this. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back.